Hi everyone, welcome to my channel and welcome back. I'm Jeannie and today's mani is for a Scales of a Mermaid collab. So the theme of the collab is a summer's day. So I was supposed to create a mani that was inspired by a summer's day. I couldn't figure out for the longest time what I wanted to do, but I did end up pulling these three colors inspired by these decals because I love daisies. I think they're just like such happy flowers. They remind me of summertime because when I think of summertime, I think of like back when I was in school, summer vacation, and just like happier times when I was younger. So that's what I'm going to do for today's mani. I'm going to be starting with this beautiful Oopsie dip from CN Designer Dips. So they released a new batch in 2024 and this is one of the colors I got, and I'm so sad it's an Oopsie because I feel like everyone needs it. So their Oopsie dips are like maybe mixtures of other recipes, or they didn't have the right ingredients or whatever the case may be, but this is unfortunately an Oopsie, but it is so beautiful. So when I was looking at the decals, I knew I wanted to pull in like a baby blue color, and I think this one was just perfect for what I was looking for. I thought of it immediately when I was looking for that blue, just because it's that nice baby pale blue. It's got the most gorgeous shimmer to it. It is a little bit sheerer, so I do end up doing 3 total dips of it just to build up the color a little bit, but I don't want it too blue, too much color. So I think this was like absolutely the perfect amount of color. And then this is thinner, and I am using my Marullo Nail Co dip liquids as well, which are thinner. So even with 3 layers and capping in clear, it's not super thick at all. So I don't have to really worry about that. But I put this Oopsie on my thumb and my ring finger. And honestly, I don't know if you see it too, but as soon as I swatched this dip, I got total Cinderella vibes with like the light blue color, with like the silver shimmer. I don't know what it is, but let me know if you see that too. These dip liquids are about a medium dry time, but as you can see, by the time I'm done with my second finger, it's already dry. I can go ahead and dust off the excess and start with layer 2. What I did is I went ahead and grabbed a paper towel because these are newer dip liquids and this is very glittery. I wanted to at least minimize the contamination of my dip base as much as possible. So in between layers, I'm going to wipe my brush on that paper towel to remove any of the excess glitter before I return it to the bottle. I mean, I think at some point, glitter gets everywhere and you can't really stop it from getting everywhere, but I can reduce it. So, whenever possible, it's always better to have like a separate bottle of your liquids, one for glitter, one for solids. But I've tried that before and I always like forget and like not paying attention, and I use like the wrong liquid for the wrong type of nail. So I'm just kind of like, whatever, it'll be fine. And I just try to reduce it as much as possible by wiping my brush in between layers. While I'm working through my normal dipping process, I'm curious of what you think about when you think of a summer day. It's just such a broad thing to think about that it can mean so many different things. I'm definitely very excited to see what everyone comes up with. Or yeah, if you're actually participating in the collab, what kind of mani did you do? I do anticipate there's going to be a lot of fruit. I honestly debated doing some oranges maybe. I know a bunch of ladies are doing strawberries. I don't know. I just felt like I've done lots of fruit manis before. So I wanted to do something a little bit different and I was struggling. So honestly, I went through my stickers, I went through my decals, and it's the daisies that really called out to me when I was looking through the decals. So that's what kind of drove the inspiration for this mani, because it could mean so many things for summertime. Like when I think of summertime, the beach is definitely a top thing that comes to mind. I absolutely love trips to the beach. I think about like sunshine. I don't know, there's so many possibilities. Now that I finished with my 3 dips of the Oopsie color, I'm going to move on to my other colors, starting with That's Bananas from All Powdered Up. This is from her most recent release, and this is such just a bright, fun, like summery type yellow color. And I feel like the video doesn't capture it, but it has the most beautiful, subtle shimmer to it, which I thought was a nice surprise because I don't think I realized it was a shimmer, but it's just such a pretty color. And I know yellow is one of those colors where it's kind of like a love it or hate it type situation. I know it's kind of like green where a lot of people don't think it agrees with their skin tone. I really love yellow. I used to wear it all the time and I stopped wearing it. I don't even know why I stopped wearing it as much, but this kind of reminded me of how much I actually love yellow. And I love the way it ties in the colors of the daisies. This whole mani, like the yellow kind of ties in the middle of the daisies as well as for a summer's day theme, like I think of something like bright and happy, and to me like yellow is, I always kind of equate with like a happy color, as well as I always equate daisies with like a happy flower. So I guess really when I'm thinking about it, when I'm talking out loud, I guess to me like a summer's day is really like I envision something super happy, which is actually probably a little ironic because I actually really dislike the summertime, especially living here in the South. Like it stays hot for a long time. We're in August. It'll probably stay hot here till probably October-ish. I mean, it's a little brutal, and when I get hot, I get grumpy, and anything above 80 degrees to me is way too hot, so I know I'm living in the wrong state, but both sides of my family are here, so that's why I'm here. But anyway, fall is definitely my favorite time of year. I like that crisper, cooler type air. Not that, I mean, I feel like in North Carolina, I don't get 4 seasons. I know some people think we do get 4 seasons. For me personally, I feel like we don't get enough of like fall and springtime. Like, I feel like it gets really hot and then it gets a little cold, and that, and you know, there may be in the wintertime like a snow day here and there, but other than that, I feel like we don't really get full 4 seasons. While I've been rambling, I went ahead and moved on to my glitter. This is Pinelope, so this is a yellow glitter. It's actually a UV changer, but I actually didn't capture the UV. I totally forgot to. But this is going to go on my pinky because, of course, I wanted to incorporate some glitter into my mani. And I just think this one is so pretty because it's a very pale yellow. And then I believe the UV color is a pink, which I'm not sure goes with the mani, but I really loved the pale yellow, which is why I incorporated it. So it is a bit of a chunkier glitter. So for my first layer, I poured over. And then for my second layer, I'm going to apply my dip base to my entire nail. And then I'm going to lay my finger flat in to pick up more of those pieces. And then I'll kind of move them around to make sure everything's laying flat and then everything's on my nail. I realized I forgot to pick a base color for my middle finger, which is where the Waterslide decal is going to go. So I went ahead and pulled Blue Moon from All Powdered Up as my base color. That's going to go underneath the Waterslide decal. Blue Moon is one of my favorite dips from All Powdered Up. It's just like a beautiful like sheer white color with the blue shimmer. It also glows, which is a bonus. So I just love using it because I feel like it's so versatile. But the reason I'm using this is because even though I'm wearing a color tip, so you can see these are like a peachy nude type color. And by the way, these are the short almond from BTArt box. I have them linked down below in the description. These have been my favorite to use lately. They are super thin. However, I just love the way they fit my nail. Like I don't have to do any shaping to them. And I love that they have that cover color already. So I've got that base color. So I kind of deal with the thinness of them as long as I dip on top of them. I don't think I'd want to wear them by themselves because I'd probably just bend them. But I think as a base for like dipping over or gel polish over, I think they're really great, especially for the fit for my nails. But anyway, I would think I I got off subject. What was I talking about? Oh, so I pulled a base color because these Waterslide decals are transparent. So they're super light. They're very transparent. So if I were to put that against that peachy nude on the tip, they probably wouldn't stand out as much. So it really needs that white underneath it to be able to pop a little bit more so you can see that design. I finished capping my nails in clear, and then I went ahead and activated and filed and buffed off camera. So here's how the mani's looking. So now we're ready to get into the Waterslide decals. So these Waterslide decals are from Poshy Nail Design, and they're really what inspired the colors of this mani. I don't think Poshy is selling decals anymore, which makes me sad because she used to be my favorite company, but I haven't seen something from her in probably well over a year. I have been trying a lot of other different decal companies lately. I just bought some decals from, I can't remember the name of the company, but I'll probably end up doing a video on those decals as well. I think there are a lot of great companies out there. You see more and more popping up. So I'm just trying to, try some of the companies, find which one is my favorite. But I still have these decals from Poshy that I love. So that's what we're going to be using today. So I went ahead and laid out all my supplies that I'm going to need for these decals, and then for my middle finger it's going to be that full nail decal. So I went ahead and cut around that decal, and I cut off all that excess paper. And so in order for my decal to stick to my nail, I do need something tacky. I've been using sticky base coat a lot lately, but I decided to pull out my gel base. So I'll be using my gel base from CN Designer Dips. I'm going to apply a layer of that to my nail and then cure for 30 seconds. Since these decals are so thin, I don't want them soaking in the water for the full 30 seconds that I'm curing. So about halfway through my cure, I'll take my tweezers and put the decals in the water because I want them to soak for about 10-15 seconds at most. That's really all it takes. So by the time my cure is finished, then I can fish out my decal from the water and then start the application process. So I'm just going to take them out of the water. I put them on the paper towel because I want to blot off all that excess water. And then I'm going to pick up the decal with my jelly stamper, and then I'm going to very slowly move away the backing, that white backing of the decal, and that's going to leave me with just the decal. So I'm just going to make sure that everything looks smooth, and then I'm going to figure out where I want to place it on the nail. And once I've got that placement right, then I'll press down to transfer the decal from my stamper onto my nail. And because I've got that gel base underneath, I don't want to touch it with my finger. So I want to smooth it out a little bit more. So what I find is because these decals are so thin, you have to be so careful when you're messing with it because it's so easily ripped. So I like to just take my silicone tool, and I like to make sure it's wet. That really helps with reducing any of that ripping. So I'll just wet it a little bit, and I'll smooth out that decal a little bit because there's a little bit of wrinkles because the decal is flat and your nails aren't flat. So where there's curves, there may be a little bit of wrinkling. There is some excess decal hanging around my nail, so I'm just taking a cleanup brush and a little bit of acetone, and I'm patting around that decal, and it's just going to melt away the excess decal. And this is why I love working with the really thin decals the most, because they're just so easy to work with. I mean, yes, they are super easy to rip, so you have to be extra careful, but I love how easy they are to just remove that excess decal without having to worry about like cutting or filing or anything like that. I mean, there's pros and cons to each. Like the thinner ones like this, you do have to have like a white or a super light background in order for them to show up. Like the thicker ones, sometimes they're printed on like a white background so that it doesn't matter what your base color is, it's going to show up regardless. But I don't know, it depends on my mood really, but for the most part I like to work with the thinner decals. What I also like to do, but I do have to say I have to be very, very careful, is if there are any lingering wrinkles in my decal, I'll take that cleanup brush and the very tiniest bit of acetone, and I'll sort of pat at that. I don't want to pat too much, and I don't want too much acetone because that could completely dissolve that part of the decal. So I'll just gently press, and that'll kind of smooth out that wrinkle as well. Because I'm already using gel for the Waterslide decals, I'm going to go ahead and use gel top coat for all my nails. But in order for your gel top coat to adhere to your dip powder nails, because they're so smooth, it does need something tacky to adhere to. So you saw me apply a layer of gel base first. So I applied gel base to all my nails, cured that for 30 seconds, and so now I'm going in with my gel top coat. I like to cap my free edge first with my gel top coat, and then I will do the surface of my nails. And I like to do all 4 fingers separate from my thumb because my thumb sits sideways. So I do the 4 fingers, cap the free edge, polish the nails. I'll give that a flash cure in my lamp for about 10 to 15 seconds so it doesn't move on me. And then I will cap the free edge of my thumb, do my whole thumb of the surface, and then I'll give my whole hand a cure for 60 seconds. As always, I'm going to finish off my mani by rehydrating my cuticles with my Scales of a Mermaid cuticle oil. This is Pasta Fruit Salad Please, which is part of the most recent release that was a Summer's Day collection. So this is what kind of inspired this collab. And I absolutely love this set. I am so happy it's mainline. It's a very good, light, fruity set. So if you're a fan of fruity scents, I think you'll really love this one. So that pretty much wraps up today's video, and this mani, at least for me, definitely does capture a summer day, and I had so much fun creating this look. So I hope this video was helpful. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, I'd appreciate it if you gave this video a thumbs up. It lets me know to continue creating content like this, and it also helps YouTube recommend me to others, which helps grow my channel. And if you haven't already, please consider subscribing. I upload content every Monday and Thursday at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. As always, I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.